Hey everyone, Kane here, and in this video we're gonna talk about premium artifacts and which ones you should get first, as well as upgrade first to higher stars. So do keep in mind that this video will mainly be based, I suppose, from early servers to mid servers and slightly touching, I suppose, the late game servers, or rather the late game time in such a game, meaning from just starting out to probably about a year in the game, probably a year and a half, and stuff like that. So, unsure if the list will be exactly the same going beyond that. So, again, do keep that in mind. So, first and foremost, for most of these players that I have mentioned, apart from very, very late game players, the best and the first artifact that you have to upgrade, have to acquire is Arcane Rod. Simply because this premium artifact just makes this particular hero so powerful, she can literally solo events. And by solo, I mean events such as Pinnacle. I do believe, no, not this one. I think it's this one, yeah. Basically, events like these, she literally solos it for you. So, for example, if you cannot pass a particular stage in Pinnacle, you can just place one hero, two skeleton squads, right? Entire field just clumps up to do damage to those two skeleton squads, and she will blast everything into nothingness. She can solo kill everything, and usually feeling more units on the field reduces her damage because the enemy is not clumping up. Of course, that doesn't happen in PvP since you need buffs, damage, somebody to tank, all those kinds of things. But in PvE, majority of the time, she can just solo clear everything by herself. And most people should always go for acquiring the most free resources that you can acquire to upgrade your account, and after that think about how to improve anything else. By doing so, you literally just secure weekly or bi-weekly rewards up to the maximum or almost maximum. And every player I have told to get Valerie, every player I've told to get let's say Arcane Rod, and it doesn't even matter which prism you have. So if you don't have a true emerald, you can just put something like a true ruby if you have that, or any other prism that will increase the hero bonus attack percentage. Because the higher attack she has, the more damage she does overall. It's been proved by many people, or many people even acquiring her, so this pretty much stands for majority, if not all the people. So that, I suppose, is my first and foremost and the best artifact for you to acquire and upgrade. Now, the other artifacts are a bit harder to actually rank because there's quite plenty, and majority of them literally depends how far in the game you are. So do keep in mind rank 2 and rank 3 are pretty much swappable, like depending on the amount of time you are playing in the game. So rank 2 in terms of artifacts to acquire is the Solantris. Now you don't need this particular artifact like 5-star or whatever, you only need this as 2-star. Become invulnerable for 10 seconds when health falls below 20%, and like deals reduced damage, doesn't matter for damage. Basically you want this particular artifact for one of your main buffers to survive longer. So basically, in a lich race, I would value Gazul as one of the main heroes that has to stay alive, because the HP buffs and the revivals and all of those kinds of auras do pose more chances of proccing and also buffing than whether Gazul would be dead. And if Gazul dies, like, those HP percent buffs just go away and skeletons just take insane amounts of damage. Now, if you're playing any other race, and I do mean any other race, Solantris goes on Elana. Now, of course, this is my build for a specific formation. She usually doesn't even die, depending who I face and what the enemy casts and whatever. So this is a little bit of a risky build, but essentially, I'm kind of able to pull it off most, if not all the time. And if my burst side fails, basically it doesn't matter if Atlanta survives or not. The game is pretty much, or rather, the battle is pretty much over. But if you're playing anything else other than Lich, the Selantris has to go on Atlanta 100%. So that is the rank 2 artifact. So rank 3 artifact I currently do not have. So I will put on screen the Warmaker's main artifact and more or less talk it over in just a second. So I found someone else's Warmaker's main. Uh, the person doesn't have it, I do believe, 4-star at the moment, and that is probably the breaking point of actually making this particular artifact incredibly powerful. So, what this, I suppose, artifact does is if you have a proper burst side and you have a proper stall side, basically your burst side is meant to do incredible amounts of damage and kill stuff very quickly, while your stall side has to survive for as long as possible. So this one you usually place on Balrog and you place him on stall side. So every time your burst side kills any of the enemy units, the 4-star effect will trigger recover 1% health every time a non-summoned unit dies. I do believe this also works for your own units and stuff like that. And in the end, if you're playing somebody like Lich, this can make your skeletons actually survive without proccing invincibilities. And in the end, having a couple of skeletons that didn't proc invincibility means your stall side will actually tank for another 4.5 seconds longer. And usually those little things can actually win you the matches. So this artifact is probably one of the most powerful PvP type artifacts in the game. And if you have it, like, it adds so much power to your field that without it, pretty much I suppose you even get like minus 50, minus 100 points in dual tower just by not having it. And when you get it, you can either grow very quickly in terms of dual tower. Of course, it really depends who you face, your formations, but from the glances of my own formation and the people that I do face, if I would have this, and I will have it in the next few days, I can literally reach 4,300 plus without a sweat, and probably even close to 4,400. And do keep in mind that I suppose the last dual tower was only the first time I reached 4,300. So this artifact is incredibly, and I do mean incredibly powerful. So that is why I meant you can swap this as rank 2 depending how long in the game you are. And if your account is reaching 1 year, basically this is rank 2 artifact right there. Now, I suppose for the rank 2, rather rank 4 and rank 5, it's a little bit harder, and I suppose it's very formation dependent on what you have and like on what you use, what your formation is, all those kinds of things. So personally, since I'm running mages, I really want to have my main DPS, which is Avril, my Valerie, all those kinds of things, to actually be able to survive, get more healing, get more defenses, another invincibility for a few of them, which comes down to Nectar of Life. Now, whether or not this is like very, very good or you can't even play without it, I'm not entirely sure. But it does help out quite a bit with the bonuses that it does have on Flora's, and also the healing she's able to do, the shielding, all those kinds of things. Does keep my mages alive quite a bit longer, and there was even a pretty decent difference whenever I made this particular artifact to 5-star from 4-star. So I suppose this one in particular would highly likely reach rank 4, if not top 5 for sure, like hands down. And the last one, again, a pretty pretty hard choice. Majority of the time you run, or rather would run, mages, and after mages you run gladiators. So either you would focus on another, I suppose, mage or necromancer artifact to do damage, like I suppose Curse Crow, right? Or one moment, where is it? Or Dragon Spirit Robe. But personally, I would go for tankiness, since Valerie and Avril are doing the brunt of the damage, or the majority of the damage. And what I would want to do instead is just get more tankiness on the field. So while the mages are doing the damage, the heroes in front are actually tanking and surviving. Now, again, I do not have the War Maker's main at the moment. I will have it in a couple of days. So I have this on Balrog. I know that this particular artifact is better on another hero, but I'm currently using this for a specific reason on Balrog, to have a bit more healing in terms of my stall side. So what this artifact does is it debuffs the enemy nearby the gladiator. It makes the gladiator tankier and also recovers HP per second for 30 seconds. Now, the gladiator at 4-star also makes the units nearby suffer an increased amount of damage. So, this particular artifact kind of is better on your burst side. And why I mean burst side is because on burst side, even if you face a stall side and stuff like that, this particular artifact will increase the damage that those nearby enemies take from your mages, from your rogues, from your mechanists, archers, so on and so on. And it also deals continuous damage that scales with max HP to nearby enemies. So it also does some damage. I'm not sure if it's huge or whatever, but essentially you mainly only need this particular artifact like 4-star. If not 4-star, just 3-star for tanking and just passing some of that healing towards your front line with like Band of Bishop or whatever. So I suppose that is my top 5 artifacts that majority of the people should select as like a basis that they could work from. Like, sure, there are plenty of other artifacts, like I suppose the Mountain Breaker, I suppose the Spirit Flute, which could have some decent buffs. I suppose even Hourglass has a pretty decent effect, but majority of these artifacts kind of perform well at like 2 or 3-star, depending which artifact you select, while the first 5 that I kind of mentioned are like the better ones to actually reach 4 or 5-star, depending, or rather having the buffs that they can provide to your entire field. I don't think any other particular artifact would make such a pretty huge difference as the first 5. So anyways, suppose that's pretty much it for the video. Hopefully you guys learned something new in this video, and if you did, do hit that subscribe button. It would help me out a lot. Thanks for watching, take care, and stay safe out there.